All right, what's going on, guys? 2022 Valspar Championship this week is at Copperhead Golf Course, and they're in Tampa. And I was actually out there 2019, and this is a really difficult golf course, tough to drive, approach shot premium kind of thing. It's the last one of the Florida swing, I get it, but this is a lot different than what we see at Bay Hill. It's not flat like a lot of these other Florida courses. This has got a lot up and down, a lot of undulations, tree lines as well. So when you look at two really important things for the players you were going to draft this week on our DFS DraftKings, it's going to be about accuracy off the tee, making sure you're out of trouble because you can't score from the trees. You can't be making those numbers, making those birdies to help out your team. You have to be in position. So that's a big part of it. And also, too, strokes gained as you approach the green, right? So the approach shots is huge. Green and regulation is massive as well. So I know that this is one of the toughest golf courses on the entire PGA Tour last year. It was the 8th toughest when it comes to approaching the green and gaining shots that way. So it's key to be in position. I talked with Terry Walker, who's a veteran caddy on the back for Andrew Landry. They played here a few times, and he said to him, it comes down to accuracy off the tee. You have to be in position to go after these pins. You have to have the right angles. You have to be in the fairway in the proper portion to attack these really tricky complexes out, these green complexes, and the way they're guarded with the bunkers and whatnot. So keep that in mind as we make these picks, as you look ahead at what you're going to pick here, right? And looking at the value picks, think about players who are going to be in position. That's going to come up a lot off the tee here in this discussion. So I'm going to start off the bat. Elite picks. Let's go straight to Colin Morikawa, 10,700. Oh yeah, I get it. He missed the cut last week at the Players Championship. He had the absolute bad end of the draw. No problem. 20th in accuracy off the tee. Okay, so he's going to be in the fairway. He's going to give himself chances. This is his debut at this course, so I can see where maybe you get a little reticent. You go, oh, I want to go after players who've been there before. Dustin Johnson. DJ is a good player coming off that 63. I get it. But here's why I go with Colin Morikawa. I spoke with his caddy, JJ Jakovac. Spoke with JJ Jakovac, Colin Morikawa's caddy, and he said, I feel like Colin suits his game on any golf course that he plays, right? But especially this one. He says, why? Well, because there are lots of mid irons into these greens, right? And you must play from the fairway, as we talked about. Mid irons into the green. Let's look at what five par threes, 190 yards plus on each one. So think about that. You get the best iron player in the world. Can we get an agreement on that? Can we get an amen on that? Okay, Colin Morikawa, he's gonna have 5 shots at it off the tee on these par threes. This guy is take him to the bank. And I know you've heard me say that about a lot of players, but I think on this course, even in his debut, this is huge. 3rd in green and regulation, 13th on shots gained approach, 9th on tee to green shots gained. I mean, Colin Morikawa is blowing a lot of people out of the water. And for this particular course, I think this is a really good fit, even if he does get out of position, right? We're going to see some mistakes. This is his first time playing the course. I get it. He is still 5th in birdie average, so he's going to make up those shots throughout the course of the tournament. So I think you have to look at Colin Morikawa really being a serious threat at winning here, but also just coming through for your daily fantasy lineup as well. So keep an eye on that. The other one too, let's go right ahead to the next one. I'm going to go down quite a bit. There's a lot of great players in the 8,000 to 9,000. I know Matt Fitzpatrick is really a good player. I know he had the miscut last week. He had a bad bounce. There's some good ones. Tommy Fleetwood, no problem. Okay, keep an eye out on those guys. But what I will say, Kevin Streelman at 7,700. I know he had a tough final day at the Players Championship, but who didn't? Okay, it was a lot of ups and downs on the weekend, a lot of up and down the whole week. Here's the thing. Kevin Streelman was 1 shot behind Cameron Smith, the winner of the Players Championship, as they started their final round. Okay, Streelman was right there at 6 under par, 3 behind the lead. So if you're talking about, I talked with Potter Harrington about this on the podcast this week. He said it is all about playing well through 3 rounds and then giving yourself a chance. That's more important than the backdoor 65 on Sunday, 67 to get that top 10 that everybody's so in love with. All of the golf writers out there that I've read, guys like Kyle Porter love, they swear by the top 10s and how players play. I get that, but I'm telling you right now, Potter Harrington says it's more important to be in the mix through 3 rounds, and then you really get a takeaway from that week, and that's crucial. So that's where Streelman was at. Kevin Streelman was one shot behind Cameron Smith. He didn't have his best Sunday, but still, I spoke with Streelman's caddy, and he said he's fearless on holes when there's a lot of trouble, okay? And we saw that when he got his first PGA Tour win here at this course in 2013. He hit that 5-iron on 17, the snake pit, 16, 17, 18, the par 3 at a 5-iron, set himself up. That won him the tournament, put him in position, got himself out of the trouble. He's fearless in those positions, and he controls his trajectory well. Those things, not being afraid of the trouble. There's a lot of water out there, and also controlling your trajectory well. That's crucial to players playing well this week. That is according to Michael Bestor, the caddy for Kevin Streelman. So look at those factors as well. Okay, there's a lot to be digesting here. Right? Driving accuracy, right? I keep driving that home. Iron play, coming into the greens, but also avoiding the hazards and not having fear or doubt in your mind as you're hitting these shots. You have to find the right quadrants of the green. You have to be taking a real positive line. Think Cameron Smith at 17 at TPC Sawgrass. So keep an eye on that. I know that there's a lot of concern for Streelman because he's missed 4 cuts out of 7. If you read on Golf Digest, some of these other previews, they're worried about him. This guy just hasn't been there, but I'm just telling you, his scrambling from the rough, he's 18th. His driving accuracy is 4th on the PGA Tour this year. This is what we've been talking about for Valspar Championship. At the Copperhead course, you have to be in position. You have to be in the fairway. Kevin Streelman has got 3 people in front of him who have done it better than him this year, okay? How do you like them apples? I think you've got to go with him at 7,700. This is a really good pick. He's missed 3 or 5 cuts. Okay, there's always going to be issues, right? But this guy's a bulldog, all right? And this is a course he won for the first time in 2013. As I mentioned, that confidence comes through the roof for a player like Streelman when he gets to familiar courses. We think Pebble Beach. Think about what he's done over the years at Pebble and played so well on a difficult course, and there's Spyglass as well in that rotation. I really like all the elevation changes, all the tree lines. This guy knows what he's doing in these positions. And I think you got to go with Kevin Streelman this week. Good value at 7,700. Okay, so here's some others as we go through it. Joel Damon. Take an eye on Joel Damon. He tied for 6th at Pebble. Remember this. This is just over a month ago. He had the lead in the final round. This is going back to what I was saying about Padraig Harrington, saying you have to be in the mix. If you're in the mix through 3 rounds, that's more important than backdooring a top 10 or top 5. Okay, so he had the lead, did Joel Damon, on the 7th green at Pebble Beach. He didn't close the deal. There were a lot of other players there. He was playing with Jordan Spieth, a lot going on. I get it. He tied for 33rd on a difficult golf course, TPC Sawgrass last week. Okay, so he's coming off a decent finish. Of course, we know what happened with the drop stuff and with Hovland and Daniel Berger. I get that, but, it doesn't matter. Gino Benali, the caddy for Joel Damon, I asked him, what's going on? You guys played so well in 2019, that very first round. Off to a hot start. What is it about this course? What matches up well with your player? And he said Joel plays well on difficult golf courses where you have to really think through your golf shots, right? With this course not being overly long, but still difficult, I think it suits Joel's game very well. Okay, so let's look at the numbers. Let's break this down. Driving accuracy, 9th on the PGA Tour. There's 8 players who have done it better off the tee in terms of finding fairways this entire year than Joel Damon, okay? So take that with a huge pump of adrenaline, okay? I'm feeling the adrenaline right now. I hope you are too at home. 13th in greens regulation. What else have we talked about this? Golf course, Copperhead, you got to attack these greens. You got to be in position, and you have to have the iron play. He's got the iron play to attack at 13th. So I really like what he brings to the table. $7,100. This is take this guy to New York Minute, okay? This is a steal in terms of value on your draft DFS lineup for this week at Copperhead. So take Joel Damon. So much value he brings to the table this week. All right, another player at 6,600. We're going down the list. I'm going to give you some option here. Troy Merritt. Okay, he tied for 4th at Pebble, right? He was right there. Think about it. On the 71st hole, the 17th long par 3, right? He had a bad tee shot that went long, ended his whole operation there. But think about where he was. He was in the catbird seat. All he needed to do was make a par there, and then maybe birdie 18, and then have the players react to your score, right? He was that close to doing that, and that was only a month ago. So think about what Troy Merritt has done. He's had some great finishes here. I talked with Bobby Brown, Troy Merritt's caddy said he's had some great finishes here. He likes the golf course. It fits his golf game and his swing. He plays well and he's mentally strong. And that's what this course demands, right? The Copperhead course, you got to be mentally strong. He never gets too stressed out. So that's a really good thing about Troy Merritt. And the course is demanding and it wears guys out with frustration. Here's what I'll tell you about Troy Merritt. Okay. This puts cherry on top. I talked with him in Bay Hill. I said, dude, what is going on? You never practice after your rounds? Like, what's up with that? You just don't need to? He's like, it's more important I get rest and feel confident, right? How many birdies have you seen made after a round? Okay. On the putting green, on the driving range, right? Yeah, none. Okay. So that's the point that Troy Merritt is making. He's rested. He feels good to go into a course like that. And that's key for him to play well. 6,600. Can you beat this value? He's 23rd in scrambling. So if he does get out of position, you know, he can get back in and save his par. He's first in scrambling from the fringe. First in scrambling from the fringe. Make sure you heard that right. So this is a player that even if he's out of position, he's never going to be out of it. He's going to keep scoring points for you in the DFS lineup at 6,600. I love what Troy Merritt brings to the table. Can you tell? I mean, I'm just giving you an idea. So that's Troy Merritt. Good stuff there. I'm going to finish lastly with Andrew Landry. Andrew Landry, 6,200. Okay, he's coming in. He's missed 5 cuts. I get you got to be a little concerned with what he's done recently, but he spent the last 3 weeks. He's taken him off. He's been really disciplined, has not had a start, and has been focusing on some swing changes and some issues there with his swing. And basically, he's 36th in putting this year. So you know he's going to be riding a decent putter this week. 30th in driving accuracy. That's what we talked about. Remember, being a huge aspect, being in position. So he's also 3rd in 3-point avoidance. I like these numbers in the sense that, okay, if this guy is in trouble and we're going to see so many tree lines, we're going to see so many different spots of bother. Those green contours are tricky, the bunkering. This guy can roll the rock. And I think you need that at 6,200. That is a lot of value at that point in the lineup, really down towards the very bottom of this field. So keep an eye on what Andrew Landry can bring to the table. I mean, his game matches up well with the Copperhead course. That's what Terry Walker, his caddy, told me this week. So I would keep an eye on it. I mean, if you're looking down in this range, you're going to run into a lot of players who are maybe not playing their best. You know, maybe they're in a little bit of a slump. But if you have players that are making putts consistently on this tour, 36th in putting, 3rd in 3-point avoidance, I mean, this guy's not going to be out of it at any point. He's going to keep putting up numbers, making those par saves, making those birdies that you need to get value for your lineup. So I like what we get with Andrew Landry. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Garrett Johnson on Fantasy Golf for this week, and enjoy the lineups as you put them together. And subscribe at the bottom. I would appreciate any more subscribers. I think you're going to like this content. You cannot find this anywhere else in terms of talking to caddies, talking to coaches and players. Lastly, I will add that the swing coach for Colin Morikawa, Rick Sessinghouse, told me that, hey, he confirmed his guy had never played a concession. Okay, another course in Florida, yet he won there in his first try. If any doubters who are worried about Colin Morikawa, oh, he's playing the course for the first time, Copperhead, he doesn't know it, he needs a shot. No, don't worry about that. We've seen it. He's 1 for 1 in Florida swing stops when he's done that in this case. So pretty amazing stuff. I really like what he brings to the table there. And obviously Rick Sessinghouse working on that stock fade, finding their confidence in their irons, which is really the strength of their game anyway. Okay, this is a pretty dominant player, 5th in scoring average. I mean, this guy's not going to have any issues this week. This is a tough golf course, and he's going to find a way to keep making those birdies. So hope you guys enjoy it. Garrett Johnson on Golf Fantasy, and we'll talk to you again next week. All the best.